This podcast is a part of the Rebel Without a Clue media network, featuring That Don't Work For Me Brother, Bullshitting, Slumber Party Massacre Luncheon, Black Manifold Transmissions, Horny Little Book Club, The Open Heart Podcast, Tripped Out and Crazy, Mad Dogs, and The Revolution Will Be Broadcast. You can find all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Rebel Without a Clue, Strange Minds, Loud Hearts, no apologies. This is Black Manifold Transmissions, interview transmission.
Dude, we are so lucky today.
We're the luckiest boys in the world.
Yeah. Because we get to interview one of my favorite little rock bands, or bands in general, honestly, Tempus Terra.
We're the first ones to hear about this revelation. Do tell. Continue to tell us more about this band.
Holy shit. Introduce yourselves.
Please.
I'm Tracy Gregory, the bass player.
I'm Robert K. I sing and I play guitar. And
yeah.
Jonathan down here.
I'm Jonathan Kaplan. I'm new to the band. I'm the drummer.
All right.
Well,
awesome,
and Tim
guys.
says hi from home. He couldn't make it. He's the X Factor. He drums, he guitars, he does whatever he wants. But he says,
nice.
hey, he's a busy dad and stuff. I'm sure you're aware.
So, Tempus Terra, for those who don't know, how would you describe your sound?
If you were pitching Tempus Terra to somebody, like, what would you pitch the sound as?
As the newest member in the band, I had from the outside looking in for a while. So, and it seems like everyone has a different definition or a different idea about what it is, because this band is very eclectic. And now I've gotten to know the songs a lot, really well, and it still blows my mind. There are thrash elements, there are doom elements, there are classic rock elements. There, like, I mean, there's a lot of Iron Maiden influence and such.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many different things. So pinpointing Tempus Terra is not really doable.
That's kind of where I fell too. Is just like something progressive is how I was gonna something progressive.
That's something I always wanted to not have, is like not put limits on it, on what it could or could not be. You know, like, I think that we made some business cards not too long ago, and we said Arkansas Doom Groove.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So cool. I don't know.
It fucking grooves.
It definitely grooves. And it's got doomy elements, and we're trying to go back into some black metal.
Well, we
metal.
dabble in lots of different kinds of music.
Right.
It's death metal, right? Because that's more.
Well, you know, we were forced to genreify ourselves, you know, and I think we all kind of are forced to do that. And it's just part of the program, because you have influences and they influence you and stuff. We've been compared to things like Jethro Tull earlier, the Opeth,
with the flute,
and some the other things that we mentioned, like some of the bigger bands and local influences in doom. I mean, you know, Paul Bearer is a very important band to me as far as a local band goes. And so I've been lucky enough to be their friend for a minute, and they've shown me a lot. And so I've been very fortunate to be in their good company, or at least in their good graces. So praise be Paul Bearer and all those great fellers. Yeah. But as far as like how I want it to be, it differs from song to song. So like, I think every song is like a new opportunity to reinvent yourself and like come up with something new and kind of like, you know, smash some of those influences together so you can have fun with it.
Challenge yourself.
You know, you say that's, you know, when I was listening to y'all's EP from few years ago. That's on Spotify. And I actually I saw y'all when y'all were at Birdie's a month or so ago. Yeah. I was like, man, this is great stuff.
Oh, you remember stuff when you're stoned, huh?
Yeah.
That was a good show.
It was great. Yeah, it can be a little bit tough, But that was one thing I was noticing is it really felt like each song was its own kind of thing. So it had its own variations. It seemed really new from the next song, which I really enjoyed.
Well, good. Because we get bored easy. I just get bored really easy. And so, like, I just try and, at least just close my eyes and see what I can come up with. It's just a lot of failure, too. So, I mean, we haven't even really got, so you mentioned the EP on the internet. We've had so many people come and go to help us along the way. They've influenced us a lot. And so now with this new setup that you saw with Birdies, it's going to be closer to what we're going to be able to achieve moving forward, by adding some, hopefully more death metal elements with the vocals. I think would be like a interesting thing that I could say that we're introducing more of.
I think that's going to be killer.
Yeah. Because, I mean, as a guy that sings and doesn't necessarily like his own voice that much, it's hard for me to convince anyone, including myself, that like the part that I want is there in my head. And it's been happening more often than not here lately. But, trying to like suss out what you want to be there, it's just like, it's difficult sometimes when you're doing it, and feeling around in the dark by yourself trying to find the riff.
The band has just had like a revolving door of members, and it's hard to like capture what we're doing at the time quick enough. It seems like it's always a new chapter of people. Like we don't have the flute player anymore. She and her husband, the other guitar player, had a baby, and so
congratulations. Really happy.
Congrats to them. That's awesome.
So,
yeah, they were trying, and we were just elated to know that like they were able to, get what they wanted, and we're just really happy for them.
Yeah.
Like it was something we talked about for a long time, and we kind of like wouldn't say prayed it into existence, but I'm just so glad that they're getting to be the parents that they do.
And they have happy,
that's awesome,
healthy
man.
babies. So
That's awesome.
start new chapters.
Right?
Yep,
that is cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, they helped us a lot, and it was a lot of fun getting to play with them. And maybe someday, if we get lucky, we'll get to play with them. Yeah, who knows?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Losing, I guess, having members come and go like that, has it been something as a band that you think you've had to work around, or do you think it's had to or do you think it's opened new doors?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because it's forced me to have to spend more time on it, and so it's been rewarding in that sense, just because now I feel like we're at least starting to tap into something that's a bit more stable, where we could be more confident about telling you, we're a mellow death doom groove band, right.
So that's really accurate though. But
well, but I like progressive elements. I like so many things. Like I like cheesy stuff. Like I went and I got to see so many cool bands. Man, it's just so hard to come up with just one. But
right,
I've got Black Sabbath tattoos. I'm a huge Black Sabbath fan.
And that,
that's pretty obvious. I think we all take something from Sabbath. But
right, yeah, all present and accounted for.
Right, like even like Wake and all the great cats that are around like the local scene. Madman Morgan, and getting to see Jeff Morgan just slay, like he's just a god amongst men. Madman Morgan's really cool, and we got so lucky with some of the other folks.
I can't wait to see Madman at the Pentagram show.
Oh shit! I may have to drive in for that.
I have not seen Madman yet.
It's a treat.
I've heard it's awesome.
If you're a big enough fan, like you just let them know, and they might let you be like the drug bum or something. I've noticed they're really like over the top about getting people to be a part of it, and and that's part of the magic of what Jeff is doing. So it's just he's a genius.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
that's very, very cool.
It's gonna be awesome to see. That Pentagram show, is it at where's it at?
Rev Room, I believe.
Okay, yeah, May.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, May 1st. I think
May 1st. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, coming up.
How time flies! It's already April, bros.
Yeah,
craziness. Kind of a stoner question. When I was listening to the music, I kept seeing just these beautiful landscapes. You know what I mean? And it feels like a very, I mean, even from the name, like a very earthy band, like of the earth. And like when you're writing riffs or writing songs, does any of that come into play, like as far as soundscapes? And like if the music you were making was a landscape, what would it look like? Like what would a listener be transported to?
We definitely want to send you on a journey.
Yeah.
So I could see how you could get some visuals because we're definitely taking you on a journey. But
yeah, it wasn't just mushrooms.
There were more than that.
Yeah. But then, the name itself, Tempus Terra, is time and earth in Latin. Yes. And so it had happened. So, like, it makes sense that it's earth, Landscapes? Shoot, I don't know.
Fantasy world.
So initially, with the progressive elements, I think when we discussed stuff that we wanted to do and didn't want to do, because we've been writing this stuff for a minute, it's just depending on what we're feeling at the moment and what the song's doing, we're really just trying to explore the part and jam it out so that like we can find uncover kind of what's there. So as far as like the landscapes go and the instrumental things, it's just like I feel like you can build spaces within the spaces that you already have and embellish on them and just kind of like filling them up as much as possible.
Yeah.
But like you're still limited, by because I can only sing and play at the same time. It's tough doing that. But like, having all of the different folks that helped us out among the years were all different inspirations for different parts of the song, and they helped create some of those landscapes. And then like, because those, especially with the flute and the guitar, it helped make the transcendence a little easier.
Yeah.
And so without those elements and continuing to have to change stuff, some of that stuff is going to be kind of not necessarily covered up because that territory is going to be taken up with just more guitar.
Correct.
But as far as like lyrically goes, we're just going to parts that need the death metal element will probably get it. The landscapes though, I do munching mushrooms. Well, you said you were from Stuttgart.
Yes.
Where I'm from, it's just all beautiful hills and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like
y'all got all the good stuff.
Well, the Buffalo River is really cool.
Yeah,
and then when you go and overindulge and go out on the Buffalo River and you zoom off into space for a good few hours, that it may at least will give you enough.
I was gonna say the path sounds like you're floating down a river and there's rapids involved. Yeah. It's very like down a river of a song. So
I was really curious as to how the songwriting process goes and who mainly writes the songs, because I felt like they had really good, and I'm going to use a big old ass word, but this is the word that kept coming to mind, is composition. Like there's movements and resolve, and I was like, oh my gosh, whoever's writing this, they know a lot about songwriting, like a lot or something. Because
we've got you fooled so hard.
Shit, man. No. I was like, this is really high level, like putting composing of a song right here to me, because everything feels like a circle in a weird way. Every song, it's crazy.
What do you think, Tracy? What about the composition?
I mean, we all take turns kind of bringing stuff to the table, and so I feel like that's how it gets that diversity, is because we all have different things that we're good at, and then like I'll help arrange things when I haven't really written anything. I'll help be like, oh, do that riff, but then do that other riff 2 more times, and then go back to the first riff, and so it's almost like an actual composition, like a conductor would, like
absolutely.
That's cool. It's cool. Can't even really identify it, seems like.
Ken's crazy with that kind of thing too. He's not here today.
Well, it's a bit of a like obsessive thing where you have to live with the song and you have to play it, and you have to play it the same way every time. If you can't live with it playing it the same way every time, then it needs to be in a form that
That's a good point.
You have to live. You have to live with the song. Like if it's good enough for you to want to keep saying it, and you have to convince everyone else this is a good enough song to want to sing it, then you're I don't want to have to lie to you. So the truth comes in to play quite a bit with that. So
we want it to be stuck in your head for days.
Because if it's not doing it for us, it's not going to do it for you. Because we're putting the audience kind of last. I think that's probably a good thing that helps us. Because Tracy and I have been trading, riffs and licks back and forth for like a few years, but Jonathan's new to the whole process. And so I had material that I was working on, and having a place to do it's pretty integral too. You need a storage unit or something to be able to like have a place to play, just like a place to do your podcast. Like having a place to do it's big as far as like I wouldn't be able to create those landscapes unless I was going after work and and practicing for a few hours and trying to come up with some riffs. So
so the riffs generally come first.
Yeah. So I'll riff around with some stuff, some ideas that I usually do are two tones. So there's like a call and response, so so then after that I can kind of try to come up with what's there and how to work around it. But now that there's going to be a more death metal driven narrative pushed into it, it's going to be kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing is what I want to be working with. So there's going to be some clean singing, and then I'll probably get some help from Tim. Because again, Tim can do whatever he wants. Crazy X Factor. He's going to try and throw in with me, so I don't have to be all alone. In the vocals. But that's just part of like saying, hey, is this something you want to do? Is this something you want to try? Do you want me to just sing? We just negotiate out the part and try to like claim ownership of it. And we have a whiteboard too. Jonathan brought a new whiteboard. It's amazing. Whiteboard is essential to writing any of the songs that we've had. Because otherwise, way back when, Tim and I would do it basically on the fly with other people and just jam it out in the room. Try to remember how many times we did it.
Remember.
Yeah, because then it would maybe be a game. Like, was it good enough to remember?
That's how you change the songs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but then when you're young and you've got like, let's get drunk and jam for 4 hours.
How many years did I have?
Boy, I miss it. But it's very much about including as many people as possible too, and trying to get like what they want. So hey, they have to live with the song too, right? So if it's not like a unanimous sort of thing and everyone's heart's not in it, then you can't necessarily.
You gotta have fun playing it too.
Yeah. Fun is a big factor. That's the number one factor. Because like I say, I get bored easy. Yeah, I know you do too.
I definitely do.
And your songs do sound like they would be fun to play. Like there's a lot of variation there.
We have two in particular. Blowback is probably one of everyone's favorites. It's one of my favorites. We kind of lucked into that song. Again, part of the initial stewing vessels from before, giving, their creative inputs. But this was kind of the song that broke the original version, the first version of Tempus Terra that I first got into, which was me and Tracy and then the couple of the folks that were there. I think Justice Scalise and Drew Farley. They were playing with us, and we ended up, having something similar to where the whole, you got a family and stuff to do. People are poor, and it's hard to get by, making shit happen. So it's just, you don't have the time for it. It's just like, I don't have the time for D&D.
Exactly.
I wish I did.
We'll Outlast too.
Right. But anyway, so just stuff happened, and we still learned a lot. And so that song was there, and it was basically, say, with Blowback, we were really lucky to have those early influences still stick around, and for that and for other songs, and then continue to like work on them and bust them up and try to like arrange them in a way that they could be linked together. We mentioned that there's like a circular feel, to it. So I like to make open-ended riffs that can kind of be linked together in different orders.
Oh yeah.
And so I'll just try and do that, and then I'll get help from Jonathan keeping the time.
Interesting.
And then he'll see how long we want to hang out on a part. And then if Tracy gets bored enough, she'll say, hey, we only want to do that 4 times.
Open-ended riff. That's exactly. Yeah.
And I had to be very careful about how I built the current creative process, because before, with having like people you need to try out to see if they can hang or whatever else, and being careful about what you're doing creatively, making sure everyone else has equal stake in the song too. I want everyone to claim ownership of the song in their own way. So like that's another part of what opens my mind to like saying, well, here's something here that I think you should have, or this should sound a certain way. Or if someone tells me, hey, you just sing it this way, or this word, or hey, change your solo. We
and obviously, try to be malleable. Some people talk more than others.
Yeah, obviously.
Did we say what?
I was talking about the parts. As far as musically.
Blowback.
Some people talk more than others.
Blowback.
Right on.
Blowback reminds me off of reminds me a lot of songs. Do y'all remember the Sword album, Warp Riders, the concept sci-fi album they did?
I remember it vividly.
Yeah.
The Sword?
The Sword is cool.
Yeah, Warp Riders.
So way back in the day, we actually opened
song
up for
sounds like
Kyle
off that
Schutt
album. Yeah.
Did you really?
of the Sword.
What now? What'd you say? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
So way back in the day, we opened up for the band The Schutt.
No, Kyle Schutt, right?
Kyle Schutt.
From
Kyle Schutt. From the Sword.
Yeah, we got to open for him. It was cool.
At Vino's.
Oh, that's cool. God damn,
that's
sick.
amazing.
He's a killer dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the
But I love
fantasy
the Sword.
elements, the fantasy elements, and the progressive elements for instrumentals. You know, Tracy talks about that all the time, especially like on tell them about like the beginning of the bass part on Blowback. Doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo,
Is that the
boo-doo-doo.
bass part? Oh,
Yeah.
I just was trying to fancy it up. I was following the bass note, or the root note, and then I was like, I'm going to add a walk down. I'm going to make it spicy.
It works. It works.
Yeah.
Does work.
Well, that's one of our fastest ones, and so it's got a couple of different things as far as bridging the movements together with that black metal stuff. There's like a 2-minute kind of brutal section where it's just before like the crescendo and just hangs out and does the
you
end.
said black metal. There's a little black metal. Yeah. Wixton. Yeah, you're right.
No doubt.
That's
I
cool.
can make it faster. Do you want me to make it faster?
So Jonathan's a very proficient, quick drummer, and so we've always been seeing how fast we can play those songs, and because it's already pretty fast. But yeah, like that song started off as the riff. The riff was the Slayer riff, and I was working on that riff for a few years, and it finally gobbled up a few more riffs and changed, and now it's the version that it's now. But
you worked on that riff for a few years. Is that what you said?
So riffs hang around. Like So if the riff is there, it's part of like me trying to see. Oh yeah, that one. Does that work anywhere? Or like it's like a bag of riffs.
We have like this bucket that we go and we just have a whole bunch of extra riffs laying around, and we just get the bucket, grab the. No, I'm just kidding.
God, dude.
Yeah.
Riff paradise. Yeah. God.
Well, it's very much driven by Black Sabbath and Tony Iommi. He and Randy Rhoads really helped me get my heart in the whole thing. Really early on, they were people I looked up to, and music I just really enjoyed, and it kind of led me to be, I guess, at least passionate in my pursuit of copying them.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, like you guys' inspirations outside of metal, because I hear a lot of like, just classical music in it.
Definitely classical. Beethoven. You can hear that Beethoven.
For sure. It's there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to steal all 8 notes equally from everybody all at once.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm just a thief. I'm not a real musician.
When I was a kid, I was actually learning to play viola
Oh.
in Texas.
Nice.
And then we had to move to Arkansas, which was fine. But then it was like a small town. They didn't have orchestra.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. But later on, I got into playing guitar and then moved into playing bass for this band, actually.
Sweet. Cool. What are y'all listening to right now?
Oh man. Yeah. What are y'all spinning?
So we've been working on this new album, and I've been listening to it a lot. But otherwise, man, you mentioned like, with the classical stuff, what other forms of music? For me, it's like so much because I'm trying to steal from as many pop sources as possible. So I'll think of in terms like Gloria Estefan. I'll think of terms like, different stuff like Latin inspired stuff.
Okay.
I really like Al Di Meola. And I like all of like the popular big dance music. I love dance music.
A riff that we called the Munster riff.
Yeah. Theme songs, stealing theme songs from TV.
What is that in one of the songs on the EP that's out? The Munster riff?
No,
it's on a new song.
What is being recorded right now?
Oh shit!
Yeah, if you were at Birdie's, you heard it.
Music. I really do love the Munsters music. I'm excited.
If you were at
about
Birdie's,
that.
we played it. It was called Nightshade.
Yeah. That's the Munster riff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the riff just goes bada 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 da 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 da.
It's
Yeah,
real
yeah.
flute. Yeah, that's
man.
good.
So again, you want to try and steal, but not like blatantly. So I just mixed up enough. There's a lot of stuff as far as like dance music goes in the 80s. I was heavily influenced by my mother's taste in music in the 80s, and she consumed ridiculous amounts of like stuff. I mean, disco, David Cassidy.
One time he was like, "Hey, listen to this like old school video game, like arcade game music. I want to fucking steal this." And I was just like, "Okay."
So it's funny.
You know, I was like, "Okay." I trust the process.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the video game music because like that's another heavy influence in general. Like earliest memories of playing video games and being entranced by that whole world. You know, the textures and the escapes and stuff. That's so like there was a game called Space Harrier on the Sega Master System. That was like the first thing I ever got like in like the home to play. And so just a lot of that early video game music really touched me in a profound way. I really love it. I love it. Mega Man music. I love
Mega Man music. Good.
Street Fighter music is great. Like, I just, so if you're stuck in an arcade with no quarters and you still want to like enjoy the games, you can just sit there and watch, you know, them do its thing while the music's playing. So I would run out of money and I would just sit there and watch the random matches it would throw on, you know, in between the advertised for different games. And I would just sit there just like entranced with it. I don't know what autism I have, but it was, you know.
Just loving the loops.
Right. It being poor and want to play video games to make me autistic. Yeah. Like, but you know, you run out of quarters and you just sit there like, oh man, I wish I could play. Look, he can do that. Oh, I didn't know about that move. And then they'll show you the move, you know, but like video game music, very definitely something. But like, it's for you too, right? I mean, you're in this video game music.
I mean, the Tetris,
Mm-hmm.
that shit.
That's a good soundtrack.
It was such a good soundtrack. All the levels and stuff. But yeah, sure, I would say. I mean, I just love music and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's definitely a lot of classical. I think Camel, you guys know Camel? Way back in the 70s.
The prog guys with that album Mirage. It looks like
the original guitar player, Justin, he loved them and was always trying to get this like desert sounding you know, riffs in there. And it just kind of stuck. We almost kind of go for the more dissonant or, you know, more of the odd formations if we can, because we're trying to make it.
Yeah, we're trying to be as weird as possible.
Yeah,
but also try to make as much sense for ourselves and try to make it fun. But with the heavy influences from just the different places, with like the dance music and being a part of basically, I guess, a world that used to listen to radio.
Yes.
Together.
Absolutely.
Well, the radio used to be a thing, and I mean, in 1996, I got my first Spice Girls album. And Spice Girls were a really heavy early influence.
Nice, man.
But you know, it was a fad. Like it's like you know, you get into them for that little bit, and then like you move on. But I also was like into like a lot of other fads. Like, well, for me musically, because I would kind of just go through them, and then I just wouldn't come back to revisit them for a while because it was just kind of popular in there. It wasn't like going anywhere.
Right.
But getting to enjoy the music of the 90s was extremely gratifying because a lot of ways I got to like, you know, grow up and see it happening, you know, and getting to go to concerts and stuff. But like the way that things were then and are now, you know, and being able to like be old, I guess, and have some perspective kind of like helps me, you know, try to like make the stuff that I don't necessarily hear anywhere else, you know?
Yeah.
So if I don't know if anyone else wants to like rip off my stuff, cool. But you know, I just trying to at least put them in work to distinguish myself in some way. Cause I think, you know, Tracy can say, you know, with all the hard work we've done, we've had to revisit all these parts and play them, involve the riffs over years.
With some of the members in passing, they actually said we couldn't use certain songs afterwards.
I was going to ask.
And so we had to scrap like probably 11 songs in the beginning.
Yeah. Well,
so it's been a like starting and stopping and like having to restructure everything and keeping the riffs that we know we wrote, you know, and
right.
Yeah. Rebuilding and rewriting everything.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, and then it finally sticks in a certain position, and it's like, all right, well, we know what we got now. And then it comes down to like getting the reps down, and that's kind of what happened with Blowback. We were messing around with the riffs, we strung them together, and Blowback used to be way longer. It used to be way more brutal. Like we basically cut most of the parts down by quite a bit, but through the years of just running through the riffs, we've been trying our best to make sure that like we're not bored. So if we're playing it too many times, we're just like, we're always asking, like, we need to like cut too long. Because we're writing 6 to 7 minute long songs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just like, how do you keep a song that long interesting?
And y'all do a really good job of it. Like, I think one of the flaws of, I hate to lump y'all in, you know what I mean? With like Doom
go for it.
and
go for it.
Stoner and sludge in general. Like sometimes bands are real bad about rocking out on a riff that doesn't deserve to be rocked out on.
Yeah.
And you guys do a really great job of switching it up. Like before it ever gets to that point, before I'm ever going
if there's a riff
you
you
linger on, a while, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if there's a riff you linger on, it's worth lingering on. Like it's a good riff to linger on, but you don't try to push that with riffs that aren't worthy, Like,
so I had a phase where I was into all instrumental bands, and so like having only people that listen. Most people that are musicians listen to instrumental bands, but some people are like, "Where's the lyrics?"
Yeah.
So they don't understand instrumental bands. But I've always wanted to have one, but I feel like that kind of plays into how complex things are.
Yeah, I think so.
But then you have Rob that can sing like an angel, and so we're like, all right, we're not putting limits on
killer
him.
vocals.
Well, you get alone in the woods long enough, you start singing with people like Rob Halford from Judas Priest, and you want to imitate Rob Halford from Judas Priest. You want to try and hit all the falsettos, and you just try to mock all of your heroes. So I mean, it's more or less what got me, because I said I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a thief. I'm just stealing.
What is I forget who said it, but it was something about if you steal from one person, that's plagiarism, but if you steal from a bunch of people, that's just research.
Well, she mentioned earlier having to scrap all the songs and stuff. So okay, when you have new people in the band changes. So you can keep certain things, and you can bring them in on stuff, but you want them in the band, and you want them in the songs with you, and you want it to change because that's what's going to keep it interesting. But as far as to your point with they hang out on the same riff, and it's not even really that cool. We take the opposite approach. We say we're only going to play this riff for a few times so that you're going to be forced to replay the song. I was like, you want to hear that riff again, you're going to have to go back to the beginning and in context enjoy it, because then you're not going to get tired of it. Those other riffs play themselves in so many reps without much variation in between.
Right.
The ride's not going anywhere.
Yes, exactly.
Now, if the ride is pretty consistent, that's cool. But the progressive elements she was talking about help push us at least into doing something like,
absolutely,
as far as conceptually speaking, we can try. It's just that like a lot of times the idea is just change the accidents. The accidents alone are just ridiculous. So I'm glad that you pointed it out, because there's a lot of bands. You were not trying to call out certain genres, but it's just like the pop genre too. They get stuck in a lot of tropes and similar things. And I want to like pop, and I'd have liked pop in the past. It's just that they really hang their hat on a couple different things, or they steal the right line from the right old song and they make it, in the right chorus, not really changing anything. You're just reselling us the same stuff. So trying to, I guess, break some new musical ground within our own context is what we're trying to do, just so we don't get bored.
Dude,
but
you sound like Stoner Damas. That's what you sound like. Stoner Nostradamus.
I get confused with so many people. I've been like Rasputin because of the beard. But then, like, if I'm getting chicken from Popeyes, the gals down in Little Rock, they identified me as the guy Chris Elliott from Scary Movie. So I look very much like him, right? See, all white people look the same. There's nothing we can do.
No, we can't help it. That's right.
Be up on Schitt's Creek, but thank you for noticing. We like to try and make the riff like we want to put a timer on it. We don't want to overdo the riff too much, because like I said, we're always trying to cut. We're always trying to cut that riff, because I want to like make you want to hear that song later. That's the strategy behind it.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I've never even thought of it like that.
Because I get bored listening to the same riffs over and over. Just like, man, I'm ready to move on to something else, or let's go outside and grab a smoke. You know,
might all have ADHD.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I want to call it.
You know.
Yeah.
But another song that took a while to get where it is it's currently called "Slip Away," but it's had other names.
Rob loves you guys, man. Rob, he's always like, dude, Tempus Terra's playing. And I was like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah, I'm going to Tempus Terra. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Love Tempus Terra. He's always, that's why he was excited when I came in because I was going to get to see you guys. Like, he was like, oh, Tempus Terra's going to play with Direwolf. Hell yeah, dude. We're awesome.